Look, if you're an executive or a business leader charting your company's digital strategy right now, you already know the landscape is shifting right under our feet. But check this out. Gartner actually predicts organic search traffic will drop by 25% by 2026. Think about that for a second. For more than 2 decades, we've all played by the exact same rules, right? You optimize your website, you earn a high ranking on a search page, and you drive clicks back to your domain. But a fundamental, literally seismic shift is happening in digital search today. It's being driven by the explosive rise of personal AI assistants, conversational interfaces, and multimodal search. Guys, we are officially entering the era of zero-click discovery. Search is no longer a destination. It is about becoming the answer. I really want you to let that sink in for a moment. The days of optimizing solely for website clicks or measuring your success exclusively through web traffic growth, those days are rapidly becoming obsolete. Today, users are increasingly getting comprehensive, fully synthesized answers directly from AI systems without ever needing to click a link or visit a web page. So if your organization is still just fighting for those little blue links, you're playing a game that is quite frankly ending. So to help you adapt, we're going to quickly map out this new reality. We'll cover the zero-click search frontier, understanding AI knowledge graphs, transitioning to entity optimization, creating expert pillar content, the technical discovery checklist, and finally, measuring zero-click success. Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, the zero-click search frontier. You might be wondering, why is this shift accelerating so fast? Well, it's because users are fundamentally changing how they behave. People aren't just typing fragmented, clunky keywords anymore. They're having full-blown natural language conversations with AI. They're using multimodal search, which means combining voice, images, video, and text all at the exact same time. And importantly, we're seeing the rise of agentic AI. These are systems that don't just search for you, they actually perform tasks, compare your options, and make recommendations to cut through the noise. In traditional SEO, you fought tooth and nail to outrank competitors for clicks, constantly tweaking little text snippets just to bait a user to visit your site. But in zero-click discovery, your visibility depends entirely on optimizing for machine understanding. You aren't just trying to attract a human eyeball anymore. You're trying to earn an AI citation and establish your brand as a trusted source within the AI's own internal logic. Moving right along to Section 2, understanding AI knowledge graphs. To actually win in this new environment, we have to understand how these personal AI assistants process and deliver information. They don't just crawl some static index of web pages connected by hyperlinks. No, they build these dynamic, multi-dimensional representations of information called knowledge graphs. It's like a giant puzzle. And the fundamental building block of that knowledge graph is an entity. Now, keywords aren't totally dead, but an entity is the absolute foundation of your AI discoverability moving forward. So what is it? An entity is a uniquely identifiable concept. It could be your brand, your flagship product, your CEO, or the core service you provide. AI assistants evaluate entities and how they relate to one another to figure out meaning, trustworthiness, and relevance. A great way to think about this is to imagine the AI not as a massive filing cabinet, but as a hyper-intelligent expert librarian. If a user asks a traditional search engine for the best noise-canceling headphones under $300, the engine basically hands them a card catalog of links to go read themselves. But the AI librarian, it dynamically synthesizes a massive amount of data to give one single perfect answer. Instead of handing over a list of links, it instantly evaluates product specifications, the user-specific budget constraints, their past historical preferences, expert reviews from all over the web, community sentiment, and even geographic context for local availability. It literally does all the heavy lifting, so the user doesn't have to visit a single website. Let's move to Section 3, transitioning to entity optimization. So how do we pivot? Here is your new 3-step roadmap for your entire organization. Step 1, you've got to transition from keyword optimization to entity optimization. Stop obsessing over monthly search volume and start strengthening the real-world relationships between your brand, your products, and your industry. Step 2, move from content production to knowledge creation. Don't just turn out generic blog posts. Create authoritative knowledge that machines can instantly interpret. And step 3, shift your overarching goal from simply acquiring traffic to actually owning the answer. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, creating expert pillar content. owning the answer requires deep, recognized authority. There is a massive temptation right now for brands to just use generative AI to churn out huge volumes of content. But listen, generic AI content carries a huge risk of total invisibility because it lacks authentic expertise and verifiable insights. If you rely purely on automated content, you're essentially just feeding the AI its own recycled thoughts back to it. You're offering absolutely nothing unique for it to cite. On the flip side, original proprietary research, things like first-party data, customer insights, industry benchmarks, that builds a tremendous competitive moat. AI assistants are desperate for signals of firsthand experience and real-world outcomes. To establish that unique topical depth, you need to build an interconnected ecosystem. Isolated, one-off web pages, they just don't cut it anymore. You need robust pillar content supported by specific articles, grounded in your own original research and case studies, backed by data reports, and elevated by real expert commentary from your internal team. This creates a really dense web of authoritative knowledge that AI systems crave, and most importantly, inherently trust. Now, let's get into the weeds a bit with Section 5, the Technical Discovery Checklist. Creating great content is absolutely crucial, but it's only half the battle. You must make your hard-earned expertise machine-readable. First and foremost, you have got to standardize your brand data across every digital platform. Company names, product listings, executive profiles, addresses, social platforms, industry directories, they all must match perfectly. Any inconsistency creates what we call entity confusion. Think about it. If your business name is listed slightly differently on a review site versus your own website, the AI assistant's confidence in your entity drops, and your visibility plummets right along with it. Beyond just standardizing your data, here are 5 key technical steps to drastically improve your machine discoverability. Step 1, crawlability. Make sure you have clean architecture and logical internal linking. Step 2, and this is absolutely critical, structured knowledge. You must implement semantic markup or schema to explicitly define your entities, relationships, and context for the AI. Step 3 is just as vital, API accessibility. Providing machine-readable access to critical information through product feeds or public APIs is a total game changer. Step 4, content versioning. Keep your timestamps accurate because, trust me, AI highly prioritizes data freshness. And finally, Step 5, performance optimization. Ensure fast-loading, highly accessible user experiences. And finally, Section 6, measuring zero-click success. So let's address the most important question for any executive, ROI. If clicks and website traffic are becoming secondary, how on earth do we measure success and track brand visibility in a zero-click world? Well, we have to retire our over-reliance on traditional metrics like page-level rankings, click-through rates, and pure traffic volume. Instead, you need to look at new performance indicators. You should be asking your teams, what is our AI citation frequency? How often are we the cited source? What are our answer inclusion rates? And ultimately, what is our conversation share compared to our competitors? Tracking these metrics tells you if you are successfully owning the information layer that actually powers these AI assistants. The next phase of digital visibility isn't about ranking higher. It's about knowledge optimization. As AI systems increasingly mediate exactly how your customers discover information, you have to fundamentally rethink your market position. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Are you still just optimizing for a top search result, or are you doing the hard work to become the trusted source behind the answer? It is time to build your entity authority and claim your space on the zero-click frontier. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you